Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Create Africa, the webinar. Thank you so much. My name is Ohiga Kemuturi. I'll be your host for this evening. Thank you so much for those who reached out. We will, I believe, be having an audience of 120 participants as of those who registered and RSVP'd and said they'll be online to this evening for a very special guest, Christopher Odongo, also known as Chris, aka Chris the Man. So thank you very much for joining us, Christopher. Before we proceed with you, for those who don't know, Let's Create Africa is a weekly webinar that happens every Thursday, 4 p.m., joined by many people. We are usually live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Also, you can get our episodes, our further episodes on podcast. That's Spotify, Anchor, RSS, Google podcast. So if you want to hear more, also on TikTok, we put a few items here and there, and Instagram, as all of you had requested once in a while. So today we are talking about sure bet to kill your business. And that is the topic of the day. And I know a majority of people wanted to know what it's about. Chris, before we continue, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you very much for having me, Waihiga. Very excited to be here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard, my name is Chris Odongo. Let me also take this very early opportunity to thank each and every one of you for turning up for this event. I always say, if you're an entrepreneur and you've taken time away from your business to gain new knowledge, then it is time very well spent. So I am very passionate about supporting businesses. I look at it as my life purpose. I started consulting at a very young age of 17. And during that time, I remember I just finished my high school exams, and I sat down with one of my neighbors who was running a catering business, and we helped her to develop a strategy, well, a sales strategy. Today, can look back and say it was a sales strategy. Back then, we were just talking, putting our heads together, brainstorming, trying to see how do we get this business going. And yeah, the long and short of it is we actually made a sale of 150,000 Kenya shillings. That's maybe around $2,000 back in 1996. So for those of you who know how to do mathematics, you can start calculating how old I am. But that's me in a nutshell. Very passionate about business coaching, business support. I lead an amazing team at WYLDE International as their CEO, and I'm also the co-founder of a place called the Sandbox, SNDBX. I'm very excited to be on this show. Wahiga, I think that should be enough for now, or do I continue? I like talking about myself. I'm not shy.
It's okay. I can let you continue because Nyambura is even saying hi. So I like that. One of our guests is saying hi already.
All right, very good. So I think for me, from a very one of the interesting things is around the age of 26, I sort of had this opportunity to go through a process that, you know, the way you help to discover, to ask yourself, what's your purpose, what's your passion, what do you want to do in life? And I had an opportunity to do that at age 26, and through that process, I was able to say, you know what, I love business. I like advising businesses. I hate poverty. I think the world can be a better place if we are all rich. And I crystallized to myself that if I can be in a space where I am helping business owners improve their businesses, thereby make more money, create wealth for themselves and for their employees, then I'm living in my life. I'm living in my moment, and I'm living in my space. And so that's what I do. I've been lucky to have lived that life for that long. It has had its ups and downs. I mean, there are times when uh, you're advising business owners and they don't send you the payment, and really you coach somebody, you support them, you help them, and then you send the invoice and they don't pay. So there are times when it's been very low, but there are times when it's been very high, when you actually help somebody to think through their business, give them a decision, and they later come and tell you, Chris, the moment we talked and that decision we arrived at was pivotal in our journey of business, and our business has never been the same. since then. I mean, those kind of conversations give me goosebumps. Nyambura, I went through a life purpose course in the year 2006, I think, sometime back. So yeah, so that was what was happening during that time. Yeah, so
That's really great. It seems I already have a co-host for this evening, so that's really interesting. So, Chris, what led you to this path? Yeah, like even before 17 years of age, like why did you even get into a moment where you're thinking, hey, I should be thinking about my purpose at 17? It wasn't even that important. And then
oh
you actually
yeah,
started
yeah,
business at 17, which is below the adult age. What happened?
yeah.
What's
I
the
actually
story?
started I actually started business in primary school. I was selling marbles. We call them banos. We used to sell marbles in
Okay.
primary school. So I didn't start business at 17, please. No, I started business
Oh,
in class 7. I think I was 13. Yeah. So, but I think for me, my entire journey begins when I was 10 years old, and my mom is a teacher. My grandfather is a teacher. I come from a long heritage of teachers, and I have always been in that space of helping others to learn. I remember when I was 10 years old, I was helping my classmates to pick up concepts and showing them when they couldn't understand from the teachers. I've always been at a place where I'm on a table, I'm with other people, and I'm helping them learn on the journey of learning. And so for me, all these things connected. I love teaching. I love sharing my knowledge. I'm able to do it at a tabletop. By the time I was doing my high school uh, my high school exams, I was already making money teaching the people in Form 1 and Form 2 biology, chemistry, physics, and mathematics, and I was being paid for that. So for me, I've always been in that space. But now my passion was business. My favorite subject was business and commerce, and so for me, sort of like loving how to show people things, but then discovering that I love showing people how to succeed in business, and then connecting that with my hate for poverty, so that then I could be able to actually help business owners create wealth for themselves.
interesting. Kindly explain that, your hate for poverty, like very strong word for such, it's such a prevalent thing in Africa as a whole, leave alone the whole world.
Yeah, I think growing up, um, we used to we used to walk from our house to the church. We used to walk across a slum, and this was a slum called Korokosho. And I grew up in a neighborhood called Kariobangi South. I don't know whether you guys know it. It's where Kalamashaka came from. It's Kalamashaka, Dandora, K South
Case
Flavor.
out in the building.
Yes. So yes, we used to cross from K South to Kariobangi North. And in between K South and Kariobangi North, you'd cross through a slum called Korogosho. And I mean, we were walking to church because my dad couldn't afford to pay for all of us bus fare to church. But the people who you are passing through were poorer than you. And so it was a very hopeless situation where you sort of almost ask yourself, if God really exists and you're going to church to worship God, then why are these people in such abject poverty? Why are these people um, why are these people in this kind of deep poverty? And so for me, I sort of got frustrated with the whole idea of people being poor, and I couldn't do anything because I didn't even have money to do anything. And so later on in life, as I realized that I am very good at helping businesses to succeed and to create wealth, and I could actually see that if I help businesses, they make more money. I thought, yeah, I can actually help people to become rich, and richness is a way to end poverty. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much. So, getting into the topic of the day, sure bet guide to kill your business. Might have
Yes.
been done. It's something I could have read on the Entrepreneur magazine or Under 30 CEO. But why is that important a conversation for you?
So it's not the first time we are having this conversation on Sure Bet Guide to Kill Your Business. In the month of February, at the Sandbox, we normally have um, a monthly networking event. So every last Friday of the month, we have a networking event. And this coming Friday, the day after tomorrow, we'll be having a networking event at the Sandbox. And you can definitely come there. You can join us. That's in Kilimani, just behind the center. And the events normally run from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And last month's event, February, was just the same topic: Sure Bet Guide to Kill Your Business. And so when you asked me, Wahiga, what topic are you going to talk about? I thought that topic was so on point. I want to bring it back, and I don't want to just bring it back here. I'm also bringing it back to an amazing event we are having at the end of May called the Big Baraza. That's the Big Baraza is an SME conference by SMEs for SMEs that we are hosting at the Sandbox. We are hosting it at the Movenpick Hotel at the end of May. And that will be around, let's see if I can get those dates right, 24th, 25th and 26th May. Thereabouts. I'll get you the details and type them on the chat as we go on. But for me, that's why this topic is important. It's an ongoing conversation that I'm anchoring and trying to see, because entrepreneurs are very quirky. For example, let me give you another sort of like a sure bet guide. Don't
Yeah,
bother with
before you go there, Chris, I even want to. Somebody is asking, when you say SMEs, how do you rank SMEs? What's your criteria for SMEs before we even continue, especially for the event at the Movenpick?
So an SME is a small and medium enterprise. That is a business that has so small and medium enterprise is a combination. So some people say MSME, that is micro, small, medium. Some people say SME, which is small and medium. And some people, depending on who you're talking to, if you're talking to somebody from government, the moment you say SME or MSME, in their mind, they're seeing Mama Mboga, Juakali, somebody on the roadside, somebody being chased by Kanjo. In their mind, that's what an MSME is. But for me, that's not what an MSME is. For me, a micro business is a business that has one employee, maximum 3 employees. That's a micro business. They'll probably be making something like 50 to 200,000 shillings per month. That will be a micro business. Beyond that, you now get into what is a small business. This will have 5 employees. They'll probably be making between 200, 300,000 per month, all the way to for a small business, all the way to even 100 million per year. This will be largely small businesses, and in there you'd have several different segmentations depending on who you want to talk to, which sectors you want to engage with. And then the medium-sized businesses, these are businesses that will be making 100 million to 5 billion per month. And then beyond that, you now get into the corporate market. But yeah, so that's how we look at the whole concept and segmentations around what people call MSMEs or SMEs. So when we say this conference is for SMEs by SMEs, we're basically talking about this conference is for people who have 5 employees, people who want to connect with other people in any sector running their businesses.
Great, good to know. So continue. You are talking about an example of a sure bet guide to kill your business.
So the thing is this, entrepreneurs don't like listening. I can tell you this for free. I've been a business coach for many years. And as I was saying, thank you so much for everybody who has stand up to just have this conversation. Because for me, whenever I meet entrepreneurs and they stand up and they want to listen, it's very encouraging. For every one entrepreneur who you find who's willing to listen, there are maybe 200 others who are not willing to listen. Because first, to get them out of their business, the entrepreneurs like working in their business. They rarely get to work on their business. So to get entrepreneurs to stop working in their business, to sort of take a balcony moment and start working on their business, that takes a lot, because they'll tell you, look, if I stop to come and listen, then who is going to serve the customer? Who is going to deliver value to the customer? I need to make the shirt. I need to design the website. I need to drive the customer to the airport. Whatever your business is, the entrepreneur has to do something to make money. And largely because entrepreneurship starts at self-employment. You start by giving yourself a job, and you are the one who is the baker, you're the one who is the cook, you're the one who's the chef, you're the one who's the waiter. Like now, I am the one who's the business coach. I'm the one who's the trainer. So for you to get to a place where it's not you doing the work, but it's your business doing the work, it takes a lot of effort. And entrepreneurs often find themselves in a space where they're sort of let me try and be polite, because we have many entrepreneurs on the show. More than 100 people. I don't want to be lynched, but entrepreneurs, they don't like to listen. And so I was just saying, maybe I should start giving them a guide on how to kill their businesses, because they sometimes look like they're hell bent on killing their businesses. So let me help them on that journey so that they can get to the end quickly, and then we can come and start talking about how to succeed in business. It's sort of like just a quirky way. So I mean, I had one example we were covering the last time, which was, you're starting a business, don't bother with market research. Go ahead, launch your business idea without any validation at all. After all, who needs to know if there's demand for your product or service anyway? Because counterintuitively, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go talk to customers, survey the market, see whether there's actually a demand for your product. But entrepreneurs don't like doing that. They have an idea, they get excited. We say they have a market validation of one. So for example, right now I'm in Nanyuki town. So I've been in Nanyuki town, I've walked around, I've realized, hey, one of the biggest things that is missing in Nanyuki town, I've spotted, there are no people selling roadside muturas. Like, guys, I kid you not, hakuna watu wanauza mutura huku, and yet we are in Qland. So go figure. But there are no people selling mutura on the road. There are maize vendors, people roasting maize, but mutura, there's even smoky, but I haven't seen mutura. So I now go and decide to open a mutura shop in Nanyuki, because there's no one doing it. So that's how entrepreneurs think. They don't want to do their research. They just want to find an opportunity, or find what they think is an opportunity, and dive right into it. So I thought, let's give them quick guidance on exactly how to kill their businesses. Back to you, Ahiga.
Thank you very much. I was just telling people there is a real business for Motura for, for those who are in the Motura market to actually come there and do some Motura businesses. I see some comments.
They are research fast.
I see some comments here. Actually, somebody mentioning there's a lady here called Math Lady. She's asking. Let me just read that question. Hello, how do you deal with perfectionism? And I believe this is in relation to business, where, and maybe she could explain later, but I'm pretty sure she means just being the audience of one and believing it for your business.
Yeah. So, perfection is I don't want to say a disease, but perfection is a problem, And I want you to juxtapose two things, two concepts and two ideas. One is perfection, the other one is excellence. So I'll give you an example of something that happened to me today. So I talked to a potential client yesterday, and they said, Chris, we like your profile. We want your company to help us do some work. And we actually want you to come and do the strategy for us. So I told them, so now the thing is, where I have reached as the CEO of the company, I'm really trying to stop from being the one doing the actual work. You remember that thing about being the baker and being the one that bakes? In our company now, we've reached a place. Yeah, we've reached a place where, as the CEO, I should not be baking. So I should not be coaching. I should not be conducting strategic planning sessions. I should not be training, but I should be ensuring that you have the right team member there doing the work. Otherwise, then the company won't grow. And so I told this client, so now I get what you want, and I get what you need, but let's do this. Let me send you one of my best facilitators. Is our is our strategy lead, and I'll even send alongside our marketing lead just to bolster your experience. And so I called my team. I told them, hey guys, there's a client. We need to send a proposal as soon as possible. Now, and the client needs a quick turnaround. Now, in that very moment, I had an option of pursuing perfection versus pursuing excellence. And pursuing perfection would have been, I don't think my team can do it as well as I would have done it. And therefore, it is better for me to do it. This client has called, I will do it myself. In fact, let me take the proposal. I will write the proposal myself because I just need it to be perfect. And I will disenfranchise my team. Yet excellence means I want the organization to grow, I want the organization to become excellent. And therefore, I call my team members, I tell them there's this client, the client needs a proposal, they need it before the end of the day. Can you guys turn it around? And they say, okay, we'll do our best, boss. And they turn it around, and what happens if the team sends me the proposal? I look at it and I see it has some minor mistakes, and minor mistakes here could be maybe they forgot to, let me see, maybe they forgot to put the company profile. They just rushed to put a proposal together, but they didn't put the company profile. So that's a minor mistake. So I can take it, change it myself, and then send it to the client, or I can send back to the team and tell them, hey guys, you forgot to put the company profile. Please put the company profile and then send it to the client. So those are the conversations that normally goes through in the mind of perfectionists. They can't let go and allow someone else to do it because in their mind, it has to be done a certain way. Now, in the end, what happens in the long run is the team then gets to know if we send the boss anything, the boss is going to review it, and the boss is going to give us comments, and the boss is going to show us where to improve. So instead of the quality of documents improving over time, the quality of documents that your team churns out will go decreasing over time. So what I normally do is you send me a document, I ask you, did you review it? And you tell me, yes, I reviewed it. I tell you, okay, send it to the client. The first time I told my team members that, they looked at me, are you not going to review it? I told them, no, I'm not going to review it. We recruited you. We went through a rigorous process. We think you can do the work. You can send it to the client. So as soon as the people realized I am not going to be reviewing documents and they're going to be sending them to the clients, they knew that excellence is required of them. And therefore, they need to be excellent with the client. So it's not my perfect standard, but it's the organization demanding of them to be excellent. I don't know whether that explains it and whether you're catching my drift. So I typically don't correct the work that team members doing. That mean I don't guide them. Please don't get me wrong. I guide them. We'll sit, we'll talk about the concept, we'll talk about the project, we'll talk about the client, we'll look at the different ways. But now when they go and put it on paper to send it to the client, I am not reviewing that document. If I have to review that document, I'm sorry, but you're the wrong person for the job.
Interesting. Now, thank you so much for that, Chris. Like it's very well expounded. Nyambura is panicking because she's wondering, how do I let go of my baby? Like her business is her baby. But before that, somebody is asking, and this is Okongo. Let me see what. Yes, Nicole Cynthia Okongo is asking, can you remind me on the location on Friday for the event?
So the location on Friday for the event, that will be at Sandbox. That will be at Sandbox. That Sandbox is in Chania Avenue at CMS Africa House. That's SNDBX. That will be CMS Africa House on Chania Avenue. Yeah, so I was asking you, Wahiga, how do I type on the chat? Because I could be able to type.
Yes, I've just given you that. Somebody might have given you that.
No, I can't. I'm not allowed to type on the right.
Oh, okay. You can just pick what you needed to type. It's okay. And then I can do that for you even myself.
Okay. All right, very good. So yeah, so I'll type for you details on how to get to the event on the chat.
No, brilliant. Thank you so much. Now, Good. You've told Nicole. Nyambura is still insisting that Motura is disgusting. But anyway, she's asking, as she's given, how exactly, my business is my baby. How do I trust anyone else with it? And I think that's a challenge most founders continuously have. So if you are coaching Nyambura, for example, and Nyambura, thank you for joining the show, because this might be just your 3-minute free coaching. Please tell her, speak to her and many other entrepreneurs, because most people are self-employed, not entrepreneurs,
Yes.
but they insist they're
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and they are self-employed. That's all. So please.
I think you really have to get to a place where you're you're more in love with the vision than you are in love with the baby. So let me explain it. I am a business coach. I can sit with you and coach you and help you make a better decision for your business, and your business will thrive. And I can do that. Say I can do that if I'm working very well. I can typically be in a coaching relationship with 50 businesses every year. And if those 50 businesses are paying me within that year anything between 10,000 to 100,000, I'll make my money. I'll make what, 50 businesses times 10,000, that's what, 500,000. I'll make between 500,000 and 5 million shillings that year. And I should be okay. I mean, that is enough to fund a good enough lifestyle in Kenya. I can build my flats, I can own my car, I can go on holiday with my family, and have the perfect nuclear family, and things will be good. Or I can choose to build an organization that has a competitive brand that is able to attract entrepreneurs to come to that organization and to say, I want you to give me a business coach. I think you guys are doing a good job. And therefore I can train coaches. I can have 200 coaches that I have trained. I've shown them my methodology. I've shown them how things work. I can connect those 200 coaches, each one of them, to 50 businesses per year. That's already 10,000 businesses. If each of those 10,000 businesses paid us 50,000 per month during that year, would be making about 50 million every year. So it just depends on where you are in terms of your perspective, your vision, and where you want to go. Do you want to remain self-employed, doing the work, baking, coaching businesses, or do you want to be in a place where people are coming to your organization and and saying, give us a service? In fact, the best example I can say is, do you want to be an Uber driver or do you want to own Uber? And so if you want to be an Uber driver, then by all means, uh, drive and serve customers and be the best Uber driver there is in the world. But if you want to own Uber, then you have to begin to trust other people along that journey. Because if you own Uber, then you can't also be the one driving. You can't also be the one doing marketing. You can't also be the one doing branding. You can't also be the one doing search engine optimization. You can't also be the one doing the development, writing the code. So you just gotta trust people, and trust is earned. So you interview them, you recruit them. You recruit, you interview, you recruit, you shortlist, you interview, you put on probation. They pass their probation, you let them go. Sometimes you get the wrong people, and then you manage them out of the organization. Most times you get the right people. The times actually when you get the wrong people are actually very few times as compared to the times when you get the right people. But that mean you won't get the wrong people. You will, but you get the wrong people, you manage them out of the organization. Over. Back to you, Ahiga.
Th- Thank you for that. I see a gentleman who has joined us. Timothy, thank you for joining us. Asking, he was asking a question. I might have misplaced it. Okay. Anyway, I will get back to that. So, in this context, just looking at some of the big businesses that we are seeing, even within the country, case in point, I would like to use the example of KQ.
Mhm.
Tell us, because they've been on this path of losing and losing people, losing money, losing resources. What are they doing wrong? What is the bet they're taking against their business that's making them go on this downward path? Because there are several things, I'm sure.
Shares. Yep. So I think we have to remember that when we're analyzing an organization such as Kenya Airways, we are suffering from the proverbial blind men trying to understand an elephant. You know, so if you remember that proverb or that story, there were these five blind men. They came across an elephant. Every one of them touched a different part of that elephant, and in their analysis, one said, "My goodness, this is like a tree," because they were holding the leg. Another one, the ears. "Oh, this is like a big leaf, very big leaf." Oh, another one, the tail. "Oh, this is like a snake." Another one, the what is it called? The body of the elephant. No, this is like a wall. When we are looking at Kenya Airways, we have to remember that we are outside looking in, and therefore our perspective is not the whole perspective. It's not comprehensive. So that's the first thing that I always sort of say when you're analyzing a business from the outside. You have to remember that you're making a very subjective view. That said, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that you don't have the complete picture. So for example, if you look at the latest results that Kenya has released, they say that they attributed a lot of their losses to fuel and forex, and it was fuel, forex, and meaning what is it called? Interest charges. Like they had to pay finance costs. So they sort of say it was a loss because of that. Now, we don't have all the details, but it points to the fact that they are having challenges within their operations, not so much challenges within their market, because they said their passenger numbers grew, their routes were a lot more stable, but and they actually were able to charge higher fares. People who have flown Kenya Airways know that they are the higher priced airline across many of their routes, so they're able to still charge higher fares, but they were not able to realize uh, a good profit because there were operational costs attached to it. And so, yeah, sure bet guide to kill your business. Don't watch out for the operational costs. Just go focus on getting more and more customers into the business, make money, and don't take care of the leakages. Don't seal the loopholes where money is disappearing. And definitely you will be sure to kill your business. Back
Oh,
to you,
great.
Ahiga.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for that. I'm seeing something from the math lady. She's saying, I'm 23 years, graduated in December, and I've developed different skills by doing ministry in one of the mega churches in Kenya for the past 6 years. I want to do more with myself, but I feel that I haven't developed the tough skills. I'm not sure if she means hard skills or soft skills with that uh, adjective. I need for the outside world. So at the same time, she says, I want to venture into the field of what I've been doing, which is decorations. I'm assuming also for events. But I want to start with a church, but don't want to seem that I'm after the money. That's interesting. How do you
My
decide on the
goodness.
next step? I know, it sounded like something else.
Math lady, I hope you're asking for a friend because I'm going to punch you right in the stomach. If you want to go into business, you cannot be shy about making money. The moment you're shy about making money and you're confused and mixed up in your head about, oh, I don't want to make money, I don't want to seem like I'm out here to enrich myself, then just stay away from business. Go get a job, earn your salary, go volunteer in a church, go volunteer in a nunnery where you can be provided with your food and you can work for free. But if you want to be in business, you have to have a very sharp commercial sense. You have to have a hard nose for money. You have to know where is the customer, where is the opportunity, where are they going, how are they going to pay, how am I going to get the customer to pay. And when the customer pays, you're going to take that money, you're going to pay salaries, you're going to pay marketing, you're going to pay suppliers. I mean, money has to move. And if you're not comfortable with the idea of money moving, then you're not going to succeed in business. Then the other thing that I always say, I am also in the business of exercising the demons of humility. This thing about humility, humble, no. If you don't blow your own trumpet in business, you're not going to succeed. If you look at a big number of businesses that are succeeding, they have big billboards, they advertise. Think about one of the leading companies, Coca-Cola, Safaricom. They have never stopped advertising. You know, that advertising tap is kept open. Aizimangwi, you know, that they don't switch off and say we are saving advertising money or we are saving electricity. So we switched off the advertising budget. Let's cut back. No, they're always advertising. And in fact, some of them are even market leaders, you know, but they're advertising as if they are number last in the market. So you have to tell people what you're good at. You have to tell people what you're excellent at. You have to tell people what you're awesome at. Humility is not for business, and in a sense, it's not so much that humility is not for business. It's that we confuse humility, and we say you're bragging. You're not bragging. You're basically telling people that you have an excellent product and that they need to come and consume it. You know, and yes, it's better for someone else to say it on your behalf, and that is why we have reviews and we have endorsements. But you can say it for yourself. And in today's world, we have our own social media. You can go onto media and you can tell people, look, I'm an amazing business coach. I kid you not, if you sit down with me for 1 hour, your business can never be the same again. And you can take that to the bank. You know, so you can't say I won't say that at you, I'm bragging. So yeah, and it's about money.
Also, to reiterate something you've said, your business might not be the same if you listen as an entrepreneur. Yeah, because maybe you can spend that 1 hour and after all they're said and done, they don't
Yes.
implement it, you know.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for that. And Nyambura was asking, for small businesses, kindly explain the hiring process. How exactly do you go about that?
So if you want to hire, one, you have to have a job description. So you have to know I am hiring for what role and what is that person coming to do in my business. You can't just say I want to hire. You have to be clear, what is that person coming to do in my business? Then once you know what that person is coming to do in your business and you've written down the job description, then you advertise and you say, I am looking for somebody to fill in this role. In today's world, you want to be able to advertise so that you can be able to attract the right kind of talent for your business. So you send your advert far and wide. Then people will apply. Then you shortlist. Okay, so from the shortlist, you say if 100 people applied, you shortlist maybe 30. From the 30, you say okay, you review again. You say you've shortlisted 20. You conduct interviews for those 20. You shortlist again to another 5. Those 5 make it now to the final round of interviews. Depending on the position you're recruiting for, you may actually even want to test their ability to actually do the work. So, for example, if you're recruiting a baker, you can't just rely on them that they said on their CV that they can bake, you know. And you can't also tell them, bring me a cake you've baked. You can say, bring me a cake you've baked during the time when they're doing the 20. But because people sometimes are not as honest as they appear, you can actually have them come and bake as part of the interview, you know, so that when you are now selecting your last 2, they come, they bake. After they've baked, you taste their cakes, you give them a real cake, they decorate. After they've decorated, you look at it, then you now say, okay, I'll hire you, you know, so that then you're hiring somebody whose competence, skill, and knowledge is proven. And there are very many different metrics for doing that. The good news is when you come to the sandbox, we have an amazing HR expert, and you can be able to, what is it called? Get the hiring done on your behalf. Type the website to the sandbox. If you just go there, you'll find we have an amazing HR expert who can make the process of hiring as seamless for you.
Nice. Thank you, Chris, for that. And moving on swiftly, what are the common business mistakes that can lead to failure, and what are some of the warning signs? And you can either take that as 2 questions or 1 question. It's okay.
Common business mistakes that lead to failure. It really depends on where. I had several that I thought about when I was thinking about this topic, even when we are one, don't bother with market research. 2, overpromise and underdeliver. 3, ignore your customers' feedback. 4, don't invest in your employees. 5, cut corners on quality. The number of mistakes that can kill a business are many. I can even read for you some more. Diversify early. You know, you're making some money. You're feeling like you're making progress. You know, just diversify early. Stop doing one business, add another one. Don't plan for your growth. Don't have a strategy. Um, don't invest in your employees. You know, bring them. Don't train them on customer service. Just let them go straight and start working with customers. Um, yeah, instead of recruiting good quality employees, go for the low level employees, the ones who are cheap. Entrepreneurs normally tell themselves, "I just need an intern. You know, just give me an intern, somebody who's just come from school, the one that I can afford." You know, but that person doesn't have any skills, doesn't have any experience. Don't innovate, and definitely do not have systems and structures. Um, don't invest in an accounting system. Don't have a petty cash management. Don't pay your taxes. Um, don't have job descriptions and KPIs for your employees. Those things will kill your business.
But Nyambura has also raised something. You know, when you advertise for employees, and friends and family respond, how do you deal with that?
The good thing about when you advertise for employees and friends and family respond is you're the one shortlisting. So you can choose not to shortlist them. Number one. Number two, you can actually shortlist them, interview them, and give them the job. At the end of the day, it depends on your ability to actually hold them accountable to the tasks. Can they do the job? Do they know the job? Do they have the right experience? Do they have the right skills? Those are the things that you're looking for. And then eventually, when they get the job, can you actually hold them accountable to deliver on their KPIs? If you can't hold them accountable, even if they have the right skills, then you will suffer and you will struggle.
So
But
you don't
yeah,
sound like
I've
you're not against hiring family and friends, are you? With that explanation.
it's not that I'm not against hiring and family and friends. I just wouldn't recommend it, and largely because we are unable to hold them accountable. The conflict of interest is so high that you can't effectively hold your sister accountable for them not delivering on the tasks in the business. And so because you can't do that, then you'd rather not have hired them in the first place. Because if I had my sister as the marketing manager for WYLDE, and we didn't meet our marketing targets, am I going to tell her, look, you didn't meet your targets, I'm giving you a warning letter? If I can't do that, then I can't hire her. And that conflict of interest normally is subtle, but it's actually very strong, because it's at that point when you're not able to do that effectively, that then it means that you can't have a professional relationship with that person.
Interesting. That's good. That's good. I see another question from Nyambura and Math Lady and Timothy. But before that, what are the
Before that,
strategies?
wait.
Oh,
I need to
okay.
say something.
Yes,
Part of
please.
the other mistake that entrepreneurs make when they're hiring their relatives is they're fixing the wrong problem. You're saying my relative is idle, they're at home, they don't have a job. I have a job. I might as well give them a job. You're fixing the wrong problem. The problem you should be fixing is I need a marketing manager. I need a baker. And because you need a marketing manager and you need a baker, you go out there looking for a marketing manager and a baker. If it happens to be your sister, that's okay. But if you go out there trying to solve the problem of your sister does not have a job by giving her a job, you're solving the wrong problem. You're not solving the problem for your business. You're solving the problem for your family. And therein lies the danger of therein lies the danger of employing relatives. We are often solving the wrong problem.
Okay, thank you. What are the strategies you could advise around a struggling business? And this is in the range of MSMEs and SMEs.
If a business is struggling, the first place you look at is the customers. Where are the customers? Who are the customers? What are the customers trying to do with the business? A customer only comes to you if you're solving a problem for them. You remember our story for Motura?
Mm-hmm.
There were several people, some for Motura, some against, you know? So at the end of the day, if you're in a region where people are not taking Motura, so for example, classic, just offhand, you go to a region that is dominated by a religion that prohibits people from eating Motura, uh, and you want to sell Motura, how likely are you to succeed? Or you go to a region where the palate, they are not used to Motura. So if a business is struggling, most likely the place to look for is the customer. Where is the customer? Who is the customer? What is the customer buying? Why is the customer buying what they're buying? And how is the business meeting that need? If you're able to answer that question, then you are able to, what's the word? Then you're able to turn around that business.
Thank you so much. What what would you advise businesses in Kenya, especially MSMEs and SMEs, to be able to compete at a different level? Because most businesses, not only are they alike, and a good case in point is the M-Pesa agents or bank agents. I mean, I open today here, there's another next to me. How exactly can I be any better if that's the case? Because also there's a capital requirement and such things.
Please repeat that question. It wasn't so clear.
That's okay. How exactly could I stand out as a business, MSME or SME, considering that if I open a business today, somebody will copy it immediately and do what I do?
So I think
Kenyan style. Kenyan style.
it's not a Kenyan thing, it's a business thing.
Good.
Everywhere in the world, you start a business, you succeed. It is the fundamental theory of economics.
Mm-hmm.
Where there are large profits, people will come until those profits normalize. You can't just show up in a market and make the profit by yourself. Tutakujia hiyo pesa ya sisi. So the thing about staying ahead of the competition is having an intimate understanding and knowledge of your customer to such an extent that you are able to consistently stay on solving the customer's needs and therefore being on the cutting edge. But the moment you slacken from your customer, then the competition will catch up with you. You need to be obsessed with your customer, and you need to be growing with your customer. And it's not so easy because sometimes we ask customers questions like, what flavor of coffee do you want? As opposed to, what made you come to my coffee shop? And those are two different questions. If you ask the customer, what made you come to my coffee shop? They may then tell you, I came to your coffee shop because you sell this flavor of coffee. But if you ask the customer, what flavor of coffee do you like? Then the customer will tell you, I like caramel. And you will increase the amount of caramel in your shop, but it won't make a difference in your sales. But if you understand why the customer came to your shop, the customer said, I came to your coffee shop because it is because for whatever reason, say because it has a nice spot for me to have a date with my girlfriend. Oh, okay. And if 10 customers are saying they like your coffee spot for dates with their girlfriend, then all of a sudden then you start playing some R&B music as opposed to playing other music. You dim the lights a bit and create that environment and ambience, and you have a lot more dates happen in your coffee shop. But if you just focused on the flavor, you'd think people are coming there for flavor, but they're not coming for flavor. Yeah, so those are some of the things you have to think about.
Thank you very much. I see a gentleman called Somji asking, what exactly does WYLDE International do? I think they missed out on the first part. Somji, I would advise, we've put the link for WYLDE International on it, but Chris, you want to repeat it quickly?
Yeah, very quickly, at WYLDE International, we help business owners make better decisions so that they can create wealth for themselves and for their businesses. We provide you with a business coach, a strategy coach, and they will work with you on the journey of getting to your goals. That's what we do at WYLDE.
Great. Somebody's asking, can I, as an MSME, afford you?
You can afford us. Our business coaches are very, very, very affordable. You can afford us.
Okay. I'll assume you won't say the pricing at the moment.
I can say the pricing. Business
Yes,
coaching session is 7,500. A strategy planning session starts at 25,000 if you take it in a cohort with other entrepreneurs, or starts at 45,000 if you take it on your own. And that is starts at. It can go higher as the, what is it called? As the complexity of the assignment goes higher.
Okay, great. Somji, because you're asking for the contacts, we've just put up the website for your information. I think you can reach out to the team, Chris's team, via www.WYLDE International. WYLDE is WYLDE international.com. For more information, please reach out to them and get to hear from them. I see some good comments over here. Karibu sana Somji. Be obsessed with your customer and ask the right questions. Lovely. I see people are taking notes. Happy to, I see I'm taking many notes. Maze, Chris, thank you so much. That is good to hear. We want you to take more notes and we'll be sharing more products. Chris, I see some people have looked me in on this one. Is it possible to get some free tickets for the Movenpick event?
The Movenpick event does not have free tickets.
No complimentaries.
No complimentaries. What I can assure you, it is value for your money, more value than what you paid. Last year, we had about 470 entrepreneurs attending our Big Baraza event. And the reason why entrepreneurs attend our events and pay is because, as we said, it is by SMEs for SMEs. So the topics, the content, the speakers, the engagement is all curated to meet your needs. I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you for free. I told you we are in the business of exercising demons of humility. 2 weeks ago, one of the leading media houses, together with one of the national, national organizations for businesses, organized an SME conference. They held it at the KICC. Turnout was dismal. And it's not the first time they've had a dismal turnout. It's sort of like, these people who, I don't know, maybe I'll be quoted and maybe I'll be punched, but they seem to have money to use to do things that didn't work last year and didn't work this year, but they'll do them again. Largely because, of course, they'll get big publicity. They'll be on the newspaper, they'll be on the billboards, people will be talking about them. But when you go on the ground and you attend that SME conference, then there are no participants. And it was free. That's what I was going to say. That conference was free, but people still didn't turn up. So we normally say there's a reason why there's value for money when you turn up for our events, because we think through what it takes and what you're going to get in that event, and you're going to come out of there. And of course, entrepreneurs, if you pay for something, you can't tell them stories. You better deliver. And we've been delivering for more than 10 years.
Nice. How much is the event actually?
The Movenpick event will be 7,500.
Okay, brilliant. How long? How long is it going for? 1 day, 2 days?
7,500 per day. It will be going for 2 days.
2 days. So what time to what time?
2 days. Whole day.
Okay, brilliant. Whole day.
From 8 to 5.
Okay.
And we have amazing breakout sessions. We have amazing speakers. Yeah. If you follow us on our social media, you can see information about that event. I'll type our social media pages on the chat.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for that. Last 2 questions as we are wrapping up. Diversification. Somebody's asking, what exactly is diversification for a business, and how early is it early to do diversification, and even how to do it then?
So let me give you a scenario. And this is typically of businesses. You start a business. So let's say you start a restaurant, or you start a bakery. Year one, you struggle, and then it starts working. Year two, it starts working. You hang in there. Year three, you're now making some money. And then year four, now things are going very well. Your restaurant is working, or your bakery is working. People are coming, people are ordering cakes, you're making some money. And at that particular point, entrepreneurs are faced with sort of like opportunity or ideas. People start coming to you because now you're making money. The bank comes and tells you, we can give you a loan to buy a plot, or we can give you a loan to construct an apartment. Other people come to you, now you have some money, they tell you, okay, your bakery is working, or your restaurant is working. Why don't we start a car wash business? Or why don't we start a hospital? Or why don't we, any manner of things? Because now that this is working, the thing is, let's start something else, or let's invest in something else. And sometimes it seems sort of like, oh yeah, good ideas, this one is now working, let me start something else. But that's what we now say in diversification. You're not building on what's working, you're looking for something else. You're looking for a side hustle, you're looking for something new, you're looking for something different. And that's where now the rain starts beating you. Because remember, you've forgotten the 3 years of learning curve. So you've been successful at baking, or successful at running your restaurant. Now you go and open a car wash, or you now go and open a laundry, or you now go and open a barber shop. Things you've not done before, but you think because you've been successful in this, you will obviously be successful in that other one. Now you start losing money because you meet with the two friends, vitu kwa ground ni different na character development wanakungojea hapo. What you would have rather done is ask yourself, now that this restaurant is working, can I open a second one, a third one, a fourth one, and so on and so forth?
Nice. Last but not least, the greatest challenge of SMEs and MSMEs in Kenya, getting a co-founder. Is it necessary? Number one. Number two, why is it so hard to get a co-founder? And number three, how to even handle the dynamics if and when is needed? Because again, is it necessary? Yeah.
The first answer, is it necessary? I want you to scan in your mind the world's richest businesses. Just scan in your mind businesses that are richest in the world. And I want you to identify for me businesses where they are rich, made it in the world, and somehow they happen to be owned 100% through and through by one person. Now, if you read the Bible, you're a believer. There's a verse that says, one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000, something like that. It's sort of like exponential growth when you are alone. And in fact, coming back home, Waswahili wanasema kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa. And even if you think about even the concept of just at the basic level, have you ever gone to Isili at the wholesale shops, and they are offloading the truck so that the goods can go from the truck to the warehouse, and they don't have a conveyor belt? What they normally do is they have a human conveyor belt. One person is in the truck, another person is at the opening at the door, another person is sort of like a meter away, like that, all that way, a chain until the person who's in the warehouse. And the sugar is, or the rice is thrown, and they actually finish the job much faster than if it was one person carrying back and forth. And so that's the thing about partnership. If you want to go far go with somebody. And in fact, even that part of if you want to go fast, go alone is not true. In business, if you want to go fast and if you want to go far, you need a business partner. That's one. Two, why is it difficult for us to have business partners? There's part of it which we can blame 844 because 844 never taught us how to collaborate. You are number one by yourself, you know. Easy marks ni zako peke yako. Hakuna mtu, and you block, you know. So we are not used to working in teams or working in collaboration. If you remember, even if you went to college or you went to university and you're being asked to do group work, guys will disappear and show up on the day with their own presentation. And you're wondering, we're supposed to do this as a group, but the guy is there shining by himself, blaming you guys for not turning up for the meetings, you know. So we are not very good at collaboration because part of it is our upbringing, but we have to remind ourselves that we can choose who we become, especially even now. And so you have to choose deliberately to collaborate. Now that basically means you have to say, I am going to look for a partner, I'm going to look for a co-founder, even if it kills me. And look, it's like an employee, or if you have dated, it's like a girlfriend or a spouse. I don't think you get it right the first time, and I don't think that even when you think you've gotten it right, you don't have to keep working at it. So you'll find a potential partner, you'll start the journey, mtakosana mahali or something won't work, and you'll disconnect. You'll start again, you'll keep going the journey, and then you'll disconnect, and eventually you'll find the right partner. So yeah, sometimes it feels like hit or a miss, but it's not. Just the same way you're looking for an employee, it's possible for you to actually also look for a co-founder. You have a job description, you call for people to sort of apply, you interview them, and then you shortlist and you engage. And you learn as you go through the wrong ones, you perfect the profile of the right partner to have on board. Key things to think about when you're having a partner: one, shared values, shared vision, shared work ethic. But shared values is very important. You can't be paying bribes and your partner doesn't want to pay bribes. There's nowhere you're going. You know, you'll keep clashing. Work ethic, you can't be working and your partner is a lazy bone. It won't work. Vision, you can't be wanting to build an Uber and your partner wants to be an Uber driver. That's not going to work. You know, you have to be all invested, and then courage to fight and courage to what is it called, hold each other accountable and to speak hard truths to each other. If you can't speak hard truths to each other, if you can't hold each other accountable, if you can't be candid with your feedback, then you're actually not going to succeed in your business. Back to you, Waihiga.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I just somebody thought I'm trying to prove you wrong, but I actually just got some of the 10 most successful one-person startups in the world. Just to mention Amazon, eBay, Plenty of Fish, Big Oven, and DuckDuckGo, for those who know them. But I wasn't trying to prove that wrong. I was just saying there are some, but also what I've seen they've done better than most businesses that have co-founders is that they've opted to have employee share opportunities, which is the ESOP plan, which is also an interesting scenario. I don't know if you'd like to mention that as we wrap up. We're already 4 minutes past time.
What at the bottom of the day, at the end of the day, they don't own those companies alone. They have shareholders and they have directors and they have boards. Yeah. So, and sometimes when you think about a partner is somebody going to put the sweat equity together with you, especially when you're not able to get somebody to put in cash equity. So even that thing about one-person startup is not true. They're not a one-person startup. They started alone, and I'm not saying don't start alone. All of us start alone, but you can't finish alone.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds like a word from the Bible. Start alone, but you can't finish alone. Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of this session. Chris, might you have one last word, because I didn't actually let you do a closing off. Might you have? If not, I can still close.
So my closing remarks is Guys, look out for our events. The one I said about this Friday, the Big Baraza coming up in May, and our monthly networking, which is the last Friday of every month. Look out for those things. Follow us on socials. If you did like our conversation today and you did like what I was talking about, please head over to our what is it called? Head over to our page and give us a review. We are in the business of becoming famous, so I'm going to type our review link right there on the chat. Please review. Go and tell people what an amazing show we had. Let them know that Chris Odongo is a good speaker and that he should be speaking at your event. If you have an event out there, please invite me. I'll be very happy to come and speak to entrepreneurs and SMEs. We have very many good things. Yes, Nyambura, I know you are our personal and paid marketing manager. And yeah, thank you. She's always talking about us everywhere.
Oh yes, she couldn't miss out on this one. She was on my case about this day. So thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We come to the end of our show. This is Let's Create Africa, a webinar where we talk about business innovation, governance, and the SDGs. Which I actually forgot to ask you, Chris. Would you mind mentioning something about the SDGs? What do you think about it? What do you believe about it? And how do you think it makes business good or bad? What's your opinion about that in Africa?
SDGs are around giving the entire world a language to speak together. You know, we are from diverse cultures, diverse backgrounds, and yet we needed to have a way of speaking the same language and a way of unifying our agenda and our goal. You know, and we couldn't just say we want to make everybody wealthy or we want to make everybody to get out of poverty. We need to find a set of goals that we could all of us coalesce around. And that's what the SDGs are. They're really a global set of goals that we can all align to and we can all align with, and they actually help the world become a better place. And even at WYLDE, we do track SDGs around economic empowerment, women empowerment, availability of food, because those are the areas in which we work and support businesses. And so it's really just a way of harnessing it's like Vision 2030. You know, we are all working towards something as an economy and as a country. And so we have we have a rallying call, or like our national anthem, where we know we are all working towards the same thing in Kenya. So that's what the SDGs are. And so if you have an opportunity to explore them and find which ones you can align your business to, and therefore then you are able to say you're contributing to the world becoming a better place. And the reason why we need the world to become a better place is because we have children and we do not want to give our children a bad inheritance. We want to give our children a good legacy. And there's nothing better than giving them a better world than the one we found. Because even our parents gave us a better world than the one they found. And so if we can all do that, then we can all get to we can all one day get to a better world. Back to you, Ahiga. Over.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this truly brings us to an end of today's show. Thank you so much for letting us know how this felt for you. And please send your review at www.bit.ly, actually bit.ly stroke WYLDE, which is WYLDE Google review. Just that. It's actually showing on your screen. So please, if you see that, please send your review right there, because we want to hear from you. How was today's comment? How was today's show? How was today's conversation? And especially for Chris and WYLDE International Limited. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, today I hosted Christopher Odongo, CEO WYLDE International Limited and co-founder of Sandbox. And my name is Wahiga Kemuturi, which brings us to the end of the show. I want to say thank you to our sponsors and partners. That will be KYR Africa, a civic and citizen participation platform. That will be the Future of Work, which is an exploring jobs platform. last but not least, Startinef, which is an ecosystems enabler for innovation in Kenya. Feel free to look them up. They are very good organizations and very great partners who have allowed us to do this so far. And Let's Create Africa, which is an entrepreneur support organization leveraging on PR, comms, and media to create opportunities to people at the bottom of the pyramid. Ladies and gentlemen, I say thank you. My name is Wahiga Kemuturi, and it's been great. It's been a great show. I thank you so much. Please leave your comments. You know, on our social media, you know how to find us. You know how to look for us. You know how to comment for us. That's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. So please feel free. Let us hear from you. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, and God bless you. Thank you so much.